Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
We'll bring it to your doorstep and simplify it the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.
Category, which is that of the son now, or the daughter. Now, the son and the daughter are living overseas, and with the father or mother who lives, or the case may be, the parents who live in the United Kingdom or elsewhere, now say, listen, my parents take care of me. My parents deal with all the stuff for me. And the parents clearly provides all the necessary ingredients for the upbringing of this son or daughter. Now, you look at it in this way. We've just mentioned earlier on that the burden of proof obviously is on the applicant or the sponsor to show that this is, I think you made that comment in respect to the sole responsibility. Now, whose burden of proof ought to be looked at in the circumstance where the son or the daughter now who lives abroad, overseas, and said, listen, my father or my mother, I want to join them in the United Kingdom. Now, is it that of the sponsor to prove that, or the son now, who is an adult now, to prove that he depends on the father?
Yeah, we do need to be clear. It is always the applicant who bears the burden of proof, whether that applicant is a child or an adult son or daughter. It is always the applicant. The sponsor would provide them with the evidence to assist them to prove their case. That's the way the law works. Otherwise, the sponsor would be able to present that application here and provide their evidence.
Right, yeah.
That's why the application still has to be made overseas. I mean, in situation where the applicant is overseas. So it's always the applicant who bears the burden of proof.
But supported by the sponsor.
Absolutely. So if the sponsor is a parent saying, that's my son is over the age of 18, but I want my son to come and join me in the United Kingdom. Now, son then has to show that, yeah, they are related to their parents as claimed. And you can imagine how much evidence you can use to support that.
Absolutely.
They then have to show that they are either in full-time education. They also have to show that they are not married, which is a negative burden of proof, isn't it, to show that you are not married.
Absolutely.
They have to show that they are not leading an independent life. They then have to show that possibly they live alone in the most exceptional, compassionate circumstances, and that there's no reason why they shouldn't, join their parents in the United Kingdom. No reason why they should be excluded.
Excluded, yeah.
So you're going into things like criminal record and so on and so forth for this adult person as well.
Yes, exactly.
So basically, that's what it is. So the parent in the United Kingdom will still need to put forward evidence of contact. Oh, I keep in touch with my son. We talk about 10 minutes or 20 minutes every day. This is a letter that I sent, a copy of a letter that was sent to my son's school saying, I'm writing in respect of my son. I'll transfer the fees in 2 weeks' time. And this is my bank statement showing that I transferred his school fees in 2 weeks' time. My son lives in the boarding house because there's no other place for my son to live. So these are the boarding fees that I pay.
Yes, that's another. That's
really kind of the proof, the kind of evidence that you need to put forward. So some of them may come from the sponsor. Ultimately, the applicant
have to be bears
the burden.
Right. Okay. Because you touched on independent life, not living independent life. It's a very important area because especially once it had to do with this adult now, talking about adult now, a son, a daughter, not living dependent life. What constitutes dependent and independent life?
Right.
A son or daughter who's studying clearly studying in the university.
Absolutely. So you may have a son or daughter who is studying in the university, but let's look at this situation. Son or daughter is taking a part-time course. Son or daughter is living with a partner overseas. It's no longer...
It is no longer that.
Particular, because
Absolutely.
Studying part-time, living with a partner, doing part-time work or full-time work, it's no longer it's no longer a life of dependency.
That's correct.
On the parent. They're taking
Right.
decisions. They've taken a decision to go into employment. They've taken a decision to not be full-time students but part-time students, and they're actually living with a partner. How much independence can you get in that kind of circumstance?
That's correct. And that's quite but now, dealing with this son or daughter who is studying abroad, studying full-time, have no partner, lives in the boarding house, but clearly the Home Office will want to know after the boarding house, where do you go to? And then relies on the father or on the parents for financial. Then what extent of financial support that we need here to corroborate and to assist that independent, not leading an independent life, to show that this application must succeed?
According to the Immigration Directorate instructions, it doesn't have to be all the finances that child or the son or daughter gets, that the sponsoring parent provides. It's all it has to be is substantial. So you might be looking at proportion. How much does this son or daughter need to survive every month? So let's say they need £500. The parents in the United Kingdom is providing 400, so you're looking at 80% there. That's substantial, isn't it?
Yes,
or
definitely.
even if you're looking at 65 or 75%.
That's correct.
That's relatively substantial. So that sort of goes to prove that, you know, the level of dependency, a certain level of dependency is still there. And then you mentioned, okay, that child is in, that son or daughter is in boarding house. What about the school holidays? Where does this child go? Does the parent pay a teacher to have the child live with them, or pay an hotel to have the son or daughter live in the hotel during the 2-week Easter break, and so on and so forth? You know, so that those are the kind of points that you're looking for.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are still doing justice to the issue of sole responsibility, and also that of under 18 and that are over 18 years old. And we've also moved into to divert and to really deal with issues of those over 18, as whether they can constitute to come over to join parents. Now, there are also stringent rules that follows that, and also proof of that non-dependent, or rather leading a non-dependent life means that you are not depending on the parents to survive and to move on, and decisions are taken by the parents, so to say. So this is two different classes here. But for those who are under 18 years old, and clearly the parents or the relatives who live here will have to show that that this is really the position, and it will be unjust to allow not or to exclude this child or the son, as the case may be, from joining the parents or the relatives in the United Kingdom. Now, we are still dealing with that. Quite a lot of applications have been refused because the applicants or the sponsors have not taken full detailed instruction or advice in terms of what they should apply for, whether what they have or the evidence they think they have constitute or is enough to make the application. It is always important to seek legal advice before you can make that application. And that's why the telephone number and the email is on the screen. Call us after the program. We'll take time, sit down in the office and discuss this matter with you in a very friendly and legally tailor-made advice, and give you that so that you'll be able to take your steps on how, whether you want to pursue your application or not. But in that sense, you have all the information you need to key in and to make the application. We are still discussing sole responsibility under the immigration rules, and for those who are over 18 years old. Mr. Wallaby, we talked about cultural here, and cultural is really very important here. Now, I still want to go back to discuss about the son or the daughter. Now, I give you a scenario where a son or a child has made an application, or the sponsor made an application for the child to come over when the child was 17 years old. Now, the application was refused, apparently for the mother to join the child to come over to the sponsor, who is the husband. Now, in that scenario, application has been lodged. This child joins the mother's application, and the fact that the father has sole responsibility for this child, it is a tricky area. Refuse on the basis that there's no sole responsibility, because that application will be separated into two. Because if the woman, the wife is joining the husband with the child, now the key issue here is also sole responsibility. Would Home Office look at that application and would say the partner, the wife is joining the husband here, but therefore who has sole responsibility for this child under 17 years old? Or does the child just go straight together with the parents, with the mother?
So responsibility would not apply in that situation at all.
Yes.
Law Simplified with Justice, the new informative, educative, and thought-provoking program is what you need to keep abreast with law and politics. This exciting and truly refreshing program is anchored by Justice Maduforo, a solicitor.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a soul-searching discussion here with my colleague. We've been dissecting sole responsibility under the immigration rule, those under 18 and those above 18 years of age as well.
Law Simplified with Justice understands that law is a powerful driver to human behavior. It is therefore poised to simplify the law and get you to take action.
We'll bring it to your doorstep and simplified the way that you will understand.
Contact Justice by calling 07931 727 597 or email lawsimplifiedwithjustice@yahoo.co.uk. Law Simplified with Justice, bringing the best to the audience.